The biggest risk with Ozempic and Wegovy isn't what most people think. It's not nausea. It's not fatigue. It's not even weight regain. It's losing muscle without even realizing it. And if you're over 35, building a business and raising a family, that matters more than you think. Because muscle isn't cosmetic. It's metabolic infrastructure. And here's the question nobody asks. If the medication stopped tomorrow, would your body be strong enough to keep the weight off? My name is Steve Saka. I'm a national board certified health and wellness coach, certified personal trainer, and certified nutrition coach. I work with entrepreneur parents who don't just want weight loss. They want sustainable energy and long-term performance. And this topic is actually personal for me. I have a younger brother that's in his 40s, and he was taking Wegovy. He lost weight. He felt hopeful. Then the insurance stopped covering the drugs. And like many people, he couldn't afford to continue. Now he's off the medication, and my concern isn't the drug itself. It's what happens next. Does he gain all the weight back? Does his health go into a downward spiral? Does he end up in a worse position before the drugs? What's going to happen to him? It's very concerning to me, especially at his age now and being in his 40s. Because without muscle and strong habits underneath, maintenance becomes much harder. So let's talk about why muscle loss happens in the first place. GLP-1 medications suppress appetite. People eat less, sometimes much less. When calories drop quickly, protein intake usually drops as well. And protein is essential for maintaining muscle. Now layer in something else. Some people feel fatigued on these medications. They train less or stop resistance training entirely. So you have lower calories, lower protein, lower stimulus, and the body adapts. Some weight lost is fat. That's a good thing. That's what we want. But some can be lean mass. And lean mass includes muscle. This isn't dramatic. It's predictable physiology. Now here's what almost nobody talks about. You can lose fat and muscle at the same time and still feel successful. The scale drops. Clothes fit better. Everything seems like it's working. But muscle loss doesn't announce itself immediately. You feel it later. When strength drops, when energy fluctuates, when maintenance gets harder. And that delayed effect is what makes this so important. Now this becomes even more relevant after 35. Muscle naturally declines as we age. But muscle is your metabolic engine. It drives insulin sensitivity, glucose control, energy stability, joint protection, hormonal resilience. When muscle declines, metabolic capacity can decline also. And if someone drops the medication without strong muscle underneath, regain becomes more likely. Not because they failed, but because the infrastructure wasn't built. Clinical trials show meaningful weight loss on GLP-1 medications, right? That's a good thing. but a portion of that loss can be lean mass. The exact amount varies. It depends on protein intake, training habits, age, different things, gender, starting body composition, the list goes on. The key takeaway is simple. Rapid weight loss without muscle protection can reduce long-term metabolic resilience. So if someone chooses to use one of these medications, here's how you protect yourself. First, prioritize protein intake intentionally. Most adults trying to preserve muscle should aim for roughly like a 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. Or in metric terms, it's about 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. That's not a bodybuilding number. No, this is key. That's a muscle preservation number. If appetite is suppressed, protein is usually the first thing to fall short. And without adequate protein, your body has no reason to hold on to the muscle. So don't just eat less. Eat strategically. That is so key. Second, resistance training. 2 to 4 sessions per week. I like to say that's a minimum. Structured strength work. Muscle stays when it's stimulated. Third, monitor the rate of loss. For most adults, losing more than about 1 to 2 pounds per week consistently can increase the risk of lean mass loss, especially if protein and lifting are not prioritized. That's not a rigid rule. It depends on starting weight. But if weight is dropping very quickly and strength is dropping with it, that's a signal. Not a panic signal, just a signal. And finally, build habits as if the medication won't be there forever. Because sometimes it won't be. Insurance changes, coverage ends, life shifts, things happen, right? And if your body needs sustainability underneath. The real question isn't, does Ozempic work? It's this. If the medication stopped tomorrow, would your body and habits be strong enough to maintain progress? Because suppressed appetite is not the same thing as metabolic durability. Now I'd love to hear from you on this. If you're on one of these medications, or even thinking about it, just even thinking about trying it, right? What is your biggest concern right now? Is it muscle loss, weight regain, insurance coverage, long-term safety, energy levels, something else? Drop your biggest burning questions in the comments. I personally read them, and I'll create future videos based on what you actually need clarity on. Because if you're building a business and raising a family, especially over 35, your health and strategy has to be sustainable, not just fast. Now there's a comment box below. Click on it and drop in your biggest burning question right now.